Hello and welcome to the Shoegaze 93 channel. Today we are looking at the greatest shoegaze albums of all time, both past and present. Obviously, I haven't included every single one. I mean, there's probably bag loads of ones I'm missing out. I've listened to hundreds of shoegaze albums in since I got into it way back in 2014. I'm a newbie, I suppose, compared to some of your original gazers um, in the late 80s, early 90s. So I've been paying catch up as well as um, well, finding out about the new stuff really. And yeah, so I did make a video of my shoegaze band's tier ranking. But I think I was a bit lenient on the S. I think I was a bit too nice. So I'm not going to be quite so lenient to bands and just chuck everybody on S tier. I think I got carried away, like, because of the passion I have for the bands and the music. I think I kind of got carried away a bit. So I'm definitely going to be a bit more stricter with what's S, what's A, what's B, what's C, and what's D tier. Going to be a bit more accurate. But yeah, it's all my opinion, guys, and feel free to counteract me with a tier list of your own, because that's what I'm doing it for, really, just to create some debate and get the community really thinking and appreciating this music. So I mean, that's the aim for this. It's not just me just bragging about my opinion, which is obviously not um, fact, is it? It's all perception. It's music is what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Subjective. So yeah, I just want be great if people can come up with their own tier lists, and it'd be really interesting to see what albums top your list. So yeah, so we start with Colfax Abbey is the first one with Drop 1996. I discovered this about a year ago, something like that. Silver, Shy Away, Feel, the opening track, absolutely amazing. And I think for the sound quality, I'm gonna have to put this in A. Really, I think the production is fantastic. The way the guitars are just gliding around, the ambience is just spot on, just proper, like, to a T, like little perfect sign there for that. Robin Guthrie would be really proud of that production. It really reminds me of the stuff he's done for Resplendor, the Peruvian bands that are located in the Netherlands. Really reminds me of Robin Guthrie, the Cocteau Twins guitarist. Um, I mean, check out some of his production work. He has done some great stuff, and I really like that new album for Resplendor as well that came out in about summertime 2022. But Plimar is one I'm definitely going to talk about later. That's for sure. So Colfax Abbey, yeah, some American bands. I think they might. I think they went into more like electronic territory after this. But yeah, what a great debut album. Next is Alison's Halo with Eye Dazzler, another American band, mid '90s. So following the period of the UK when it was really at its the genre was at its height, really, in the UK. So this is, after that, this is when the Americans really started to pick up the ball, really, that the British dropped. Um, so as Britpop and that was looming in the UK, exploding, the Americans kind of they were keeping experimental, and just really kept it going through the like late 90s and early 2000s. For this, oh god, it's a hard one, really. I mean, I'm thinking B. I think the front woman has a fantastic voice, really beautiful, like cute voice. And I really like songs like Snow, is it Snowbleed? And Sunshine is a really good like poppy tune with it's got those sort of that pop chord structure. And I think it's just really great. Really, really good. And yeah, I think B though. I just think that's obviously I don't want to just chuck everything too high straight away. I mean, I can always move stuff later, but for now it's a B. And I think is it Catherine, the lead singer. I follow her on Facebook, and seems to be some really good activity going on with that band at the moment. I think they're making stuff on Studio One, which is the DAW I use, by the way. Really recommend it. I've got the 5th version. I think there's a 6th one out now. But according to Sound on Sound magazine, it's not too radical really in its changes. But yeah, so Alison Taylor, I Dazzler, B tier. Next one, Difference Engine, and this is going in at A. Fantastic songwriting there. Tsunami, I love that. The way. It's got a really heavy section, and then it goes into this beautiful swooning verse with this angelic voice just gliding, floating through the atmosphere. And then suddenly you got that Swervedriver-esque breakdown where the guitars just come in and the drums are pounding. And speaking about the drums, absolutely fantastic on this album. Really, it's like Los Colbert from Ride, really up there with that kind of drumming. Just really, those little nuances and stuff just really enhance the songs. Like, it's not just percussion just for the sake of like showing off. It's not just like that mindless rock drumming. It really is just like really designed to sort of fill the void, really, that kind of what the droning guitar sort of fills, to fill the gaps that that when the guitar is just droning out. And obviously the drums and bass really need to do some work, really, to stop it being too monotonous, and it's got to have that sense of harmony going on. And really important for shoegaze, really, to have a great bassist and the drummer, a great rhythm section all together, because it's like it really anchors the sound down and stops stuff from floating away, or stops stuff from being too stagnant and dirgy. Yeah, so Difference Engine, I mean, I found them another American band, sort of, I think 95, 96 again. So yeah, I mean, mid 90s, late 90s, I mean, the Americans really knew what they were doing with the genre. The Emerald Down, this is Rebecca Bassier's band. I think she's German, born in Germany, but moved to America. I really love Scream the Sound. I think that's an A for me. I mean, I really like what's it? I can't remember the name now. You are sooner. Paralyzed. That's it. Really love that. It's got this real driving drum machine going on, like curve, and quite industrial, really, like EDM kind of drums, and it's just really frantic on the hi-hats, and I just love that. And again, another beautiful female voice leading the charge, and the guitar is just really flangy and really nice chosen notes. You know, it's like really well thought out guitar work, and it's like really rhythmic and stuff, you know, just like springing along to the manic drums. And yeah, just fantastic. I mean, is it Quarter Wave as well? Is another really good one. Just yeah, really Cocteau-esque guitar work, and they still sound really original. Next one's a bit contentious because actually it's a collection of EPs from the band Aeryal. But for me, this is S tier. This is S tier. Even though it's a collection of 4 EPs called Melted, Frozen. I can't remember the other two. Really, I'm kicking myself really because I I should really know. But yeah, basically, like I'm including this because it's like 4 EPs together. So basically, it's an album just divided up. But Jeremy Wren and Aeryal just really come up with the goods, and they are the best 2000s shoegaze band for me. And songs like "In Your Room" is an absolute classic, which is really accessible. It's got a real sing along chorus to it, and the whole song's pretty sing along actually. A bit like "Leave Them All Behind" by Ride. You can sing the whole song, and it still classifies as shoegaze, but it's still really got a pop kind of sensibility to it, which is what shoegaze is about. Really, it's about balancing the two, isn't it? The kind of the cocoon like cocoon like noise with accessible melodies, just balancing the harsh and the ambient and psychedelic. So yeah, I think Aeryal for Winks and Kisses collection is S tier. I mean, that is the best. They are the best EPs of the noughties. Really, I mean, that is worthy of S. Right now, it's their 2017 album, Young Molten Lovers. I really dig this. I really think I'm gonna say A tier. I really like Sharon Apple, which actually appeared on Winks and Kisses to begin with, but they did another version of it, which is really good, and it's got like, is it Red Car on it, and Your Mouth, My Lips, or My Mouth, Your Lips. I can't remember what way round it is, but yeah, that song just takes off. Like when you think Jeremy's run out of ideas, suddenly the song just it goes into some kind of key change, and then really just the sonics are incredible and the production is there. It was such a great, after a 10-year hiatus after Battle of Sealand, it was really a warm welcomed album that was well overdue. But yeah, fantastic. Next one, Angel Pool. Putting this one as B. I think the production is A to S tier, definitely. The only thing that lets it down really is just, I think, some sort of duff songs near the end. Really, nothing really grabs me. It's very kind of front loaded, heavy. It's really the first few tracks really that are classics, like "Embracing Winter" and the Garden Ends, is it? And Sun Blush or something. There's a really good one after Sun Blush, Juniper's Hill, I think it is, and that is incredible. That's my favorite of the album. Juniper's Hill. Just this, it's got this brilliant outro. Absolutely, absolutely, just kiss the sky kind of outro. You know, just it's just fantastic, man. Seriously, just listen to it. The Autumn's Angel Pool. Next one, Slow Crush, Aurora. This is definitely A tier. They are all tempted to go S, but stay safe with A. I think they're one of the best bands to come out in the last 5 years from Belgium. Although Isa Holiday, the the front woman, is from Manchester originally. But yeah, I mean they're just fantastic, and you need to catch live at AB in Belgium. This gig you can get on YouTube, and it's just mesmerizing. There's no other word for it. It's just mesmerizing. The acoustics of that place. It's the right location, the right musicians. The camera work is fantastic. Just like panning around all of the musicians, and it's just really, really syncing with the rhythm. Yeah, it's incredible. The sonics, the amplitude, it's all there. Frequencies. Yeah, I think Aurora is there, and I'll probably put Hush in A as well, as I think they've done two great albums. Right, next is Blind Mr. Jones, Stereo Musicale. I'm putting it C. And I think it's got fantastic songs. Henna and Suede is a personal favourite. And Spooky Vibes is on it. Also Small Caravan, and what's the one that goes? What's the one with like the coin and stuff sliding down the neck, like with the kind of tremolo effect? Just trying to think. Oh, that is Small Caravans, isn't it? Actually, yeah, Small Caravan. But yeah, I just think that there are some filler tracks on it. There's just some kind of pointless, like Lonesome Boatman. Like there's some pointless kind of little jams on there that I think could have been, that space could have been used for some better songs. So that's why I would put it as C. But apart from that, I mean, it's definitely got some great stuff that's as good as any of the original shoegazers on it, like Henna and Suede, and is it Sisters, isn't it? The first one, first song, and yeah, yeah, it's definitely great. From Marlow, Thames Valley area. So next one is like a trip hop kind of hybrid, Bury Electric. I'm putting that in A tier. So I think that's very innovative with the trip hop beats, with the glide guitar going on. I think, yeah, this was also from America, 1997. They did another one called Next to Nothing, which I haven't actually featured here, but that's definitely worth checking out as well. But yeah, Fear of Flying, that's the main song. Next one, Ringo Deathstarr, Color Trip. Wow. I mean, this, I might have to go S. I think this kick-started something in the 2010s. I really do. I think Ringo Deathstarr from Texas, Elliot Frazier, and Alex Gehring. I really think they kick-started the shoegaze revival. I mean, because 2010s is really when it kicked off, and especially with all the old guard kind of reforming in 2014, 15, 16, and MBV coming back in 2013. But the new guard were definitely inspired by Ringo Deathstar's Color Trip. Absolutely. Kaleidoscope. It's got Two Girls. You got Imagine Hearts. I mean, it's great. It's like Medicine with MBV and Jesus and Mary Chain. It's just like all of them together. Um, yeah, it's fantastic and well deserving of the S tier. Next one is actually, well, not really an album. Is Ride coming up for air, and I think it's deserves a place here because it's just a fantastic jam and a great tribute to Sonic Youth, because it's for Channel 4's Pioneers show back in 2001. Ride reformed just for this like brief performance, but it's like half an hour of this like epic jam. and it's really worth checking out. And I put it on here because I just think I want to promote it really. Coming up for air, it's called, and you got like a couple of sound checks, but then it goes into the main thing, which is just half an hour jam, and it's just mesmerizing. It goes into this real psychedelic breakdown, and like the drive blind thing that Ride do, like it goes into that basically, and then it sort of comes out with this kind of riffage, and the guitars are just, there's like so many effects, like the tremolo, you hear that, you hear Mark Gardner doing like all the Sonic Youth techniques, like playing off the fretboard and like putting sort of sliding down the neck and stuff with like some sort of slide and that in between the strings, and detuning it all and using the tremolo arm. And yeah, like if you want to hear Ride do shoegaze for like half an hour, then there's the proof that they can actually really do it well. So next is Curve Cuckoo. It's my favorite Curve album actually. Very tempted to put this S tier because I think Curve was so innovative with like bringing dance into shoegaze. That industrial style is just, oh, it's tricky. I mean, because if I put it on S, then it's on par with Loveless and Everything's Alright Forever. I mean, that's the trouble. It's like, is it actually up there with those great bona fide albums? And no, I would say A. But I mean, it's a close call. I mean, Dean Garcia deserves so much credit. Stuff he's doing with Space Echo is really good. Which is like a family project, because he's got like I think it's his daughter like on vocals, and Tony Halliday is a beautiful singer, but she doesn't want any part in the music industry anymore. So that kind of stopped a reunion, which kind of sucked. That nearly happened like back in 2016. Right, Deserter, Hide. No, it's Black Aura, My Son. It's got the song Hide on it. For me, this is a masterpiece in production. I'm putting it A tier. It can't be any lower than that. I mean, Hide is just Hide, and is it Paradise? And it is the other one, Paradiso, something like that. You can't. The actual title track as well, Black Aura, My Son. The production techniques these guys use are just really bang up to date, and I think that's what's keeping them so relevant. They did a really good KEXP performance as well, like back in 2020, which I thought was really great. You can see Hyde being played, and he's got the jazz master, and the synth is being played, the keyboard synth. Absolutely incredible. Yeah. It looked like they had Rag and Bone Man on drums as well, which was quite hilarious. Just this like big bearded guy on drums, like he kind of didn't look the part, like, but obviously he's got the talent. A bit like Mikey Jones of Swervedriver, you know, he's just like this big guy, like with this. He just he looks too big for the drum kit, like it just he looks really odd behind it, but geez, the boys can play. I mean, that's the main thing. Dive Deceiver. I remember seeing this tour actually when it came to the UK. Going for B. I think it could have been a bit better. Blackened Ship's great. Um, yeah, really like Blankenship, named after some like controversial US politician. But yeah, they really let MBV the style up. Like what's that song? What's the other one? Like you, oh yeah, like before you were born, all the people I know, like before you were, wow, 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 wow. Yeah, like before you were born is probably my favorite actually of that album. Next, Curve Doppelganger. And I'm putting this in B because even though it's got a horror head and it's got like ice melts the tips and just great stuff like that, split into fractions, these hauntingly beautiful songs. I'm putting it B because obviously I said already, I established that Cuckoo is my favorite Curve album, so I'm gonna have to put Curve Doppelganger a bit lower. Sorry, sorry, don't shoot me. But yeah, I mean, just check out Curve. Really, seriously underappreciated. Right, the next S tier, and it's Boo Radleys' "Everything's Alright Forever," which you could say is outclasses "Loveless" by My Bloody Valentine. I actually do think it's a better album than MBV. I mean, I can hear people unsubscribing right now. I can hear those clicks. Please don't. Please don't. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. So, yeah, I mean, 14 tracks. I mean, just 14 quality tracks. Um, I mean, that's incredible. Memory Babe, the outro to that. Fire Sky is just the glide guitar all the way through. Martin Carr, absolute genius, not just in songwriting, but actually in that style, in that shoegaze style. He is fantastic. Spaniard, um, losing it. You got bloody Skyscraper on it. You got Paradise, Lazy Day. It's phenomenal, really. Everything's Alright Forever. The Boo Radleys. Please, 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 please check it out. You really do. I mean, all these hipsters that go on about Loveless all the time, you need to check this out. Really. All right, next one. Flying Colors. Wow. Fantasyland. I'm putting this. I'm actually putting it at C, actually. I didn't think this was a great follow up to Mindfulness. I think, like, yeah, White Knuckles is great, stuff like that. And Big Mess, or whatever it's called. I thought that was great, but actually, it was only like 8 tracks, and I wasn't that impressed, really. Like, I thought they were going to, like, improve, really, on Mindfulness, but seemed to be a bit, like, half-assed, really. Not to be too critical, but yeah, I've always wanted to see them live, and they never really had the opportunity because coronavirus and lockdown got in the way. Because it was like I was meant to see them, and it was like rescheduled like 3 times, and it was just cancelled 3 times. So it was a real shame because I would love to see them, like, with Deserter and Slow Crush. Really, they're my like 3 bands that I really want to see the most right now. So next is Ferment, 1992 by Catherine Wheel, and I think, ooh, B tier I'm going for. I really love Salt. I really like Black Metallic. Indigo is Blue. Texture. Yeah, really good. And really, that's the only one I like. From Chrome onwards, you can forget it. I'm not into it. Next one, Aeryal Forms, Russian band. This was like 2015, I think. Yeah, it's pretty good. I would say C. It's not really one I come back to that often. But definitely got some great tracks on there, like Breathe So Better and Kawaii. Yeah, great. Yana Kameshko. Ooh, hot. Next one, Future Ruins by Swervedriver. For me, I would say it's not really as good. I would say C. It's nowhere near as good as I Wasn't Born to Lose You, which is in this list coming up later. But yes, definitely some great things. But the Bicycle Delay by Catlin Bread is a prominent feature on this, and the Discman by Catlin Bread. Next is Deafheaven, Infinite Granite. Going for a C as well. I think that's not a bad thing putting it in the C. Remember, I think C is still good. But yeah, I mean, it's great to see big metal bands really just kind of confining. No, not confining. That's not the word, but just having a go at different genre and really kind of excelling in it. Like In Blur is fantastic. Next, Jessamines by Miniatures. And I think on the strength of What You Want and Try and Honey, I'm saying definitely A tier for that. Came out in 2017. They're like half New Zealand, half Australian band. Yeah, really check it out. That's amazing sounding record. The production on that, wow. Next, Kitchens of Distinction, Death of Cool. And for Blue Pedal alone, that's going in A tier. Just simply for Blue Pedal, really. I mean, that outro is just the most stupendous sonic exploration ever. I mean, the textures, the layers just evolve and evolve, and it's just apocalyptic. Next one is their first album. No, second album actually. Strange Free World, which I'm also putting in A. I think that's got a fantastic sound to it. Railways, hypergenic, hypogenogic or something like that. It's really good. Yeah, fantastic sounds. Julian Swales, really underrated guitar player, really amazing soundscaper. Next, Lilies in the Presence of Nothing. I would say B tier. I really think it's got some strong stuff on there. Elizabeth Color Wheels, beautiful melancholy. Really, the flanger going on like that, sort of drooping, and then it busts out with the massive clipping distortion. Wow. Yeah, it's really good. Periscope and uh was it the first one, Orchids or something, is really good, isn't it? LSD and the Search for God, 2006. Put it in C tier. I haven't really listened to that much in a while, but it definitely was a key album of the noughties, that's for sure. Got a lot of people back into shoegaze. Next one, Splits. I'm putting this B tier. I love Starlust, Lit Up. I think it's the best Lush record. I think because I think it's Spooky was too. I mean, it was produced by Robin Guthrie, so you can't really complain about that. But it was just too much of the same thing, and I think needed some variation really in the track listing, in the sonic template, in the palette. Needed some variation there, and it kind of, again, it's like a top heavy album, really, like a front loaded album where like the first 5-6 tracks are brilliant, like Super Blast and Nothing Natural. But then I'm not so keen on like Fantasy or Laura or Take. That don't really do nothing for me, really, those ones. But it ends on a Monochrome, which is a great song. Next one. Oh, well, we know where this is going, don't we? Only joking. I triggered you there for a moment, didn't I? I triggered you there. I had you, YouTube community. Yeah, well, S tier without a doubt. There we go. I mean, that's the iconic symbol, really, isn't it? That the Misty Jazz Master / Jaguar. I mean, that's like the symbol, really, in it of it. That's the flag of shoegaze, if you like. Yeah, I mean, nothing more needs to be said about it, really. Just everything's been said. So let's carry on. Medicine, Shot Forward Self Living. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, this is a ultra loud Pearson album. I would say I'll go for C tier, actually. I mean, it's got 5 on there. 5 Tango. And Aruko, obviously. Fantastic. A creative industrial tune. Amazing. But there's one I like a bit further along the line, which is going to rate higher. So I'm settling for C for that. MBV 2013. For me, it's an A. Yeah, it's gonna fit in there. Yeah, good. Yeah, I mean it's great stuff. 1 to 2 is just manic. In another way, it's probably my favorite track from it, and that really kick-started the whole 2010 movement as well. Along with Color Trip, really, those two were the ones where people just started picking up the pedal boards and yeah, just creating sonic landscape songs. Next one isn't anything. Wow. I mean, in terms of influence, it really should be S tier because everybody, those early 90s bands were, everybody was influenced by this album. You know, you ask Mark Gardner from Ride, and he will point out this album as well as Sonic Youth, Daydream Nation, as like the cornerstone album, really, the one that kind of the pivot album, really, that went from like goth to shoegaze to in goth to indie, and that just this was the pivot thing, the pivot album. And I was putting it. I mean, on the strength of the songs, though, I'm putting it in A tier because I mean, there's some weak stuff in there, really. I mean, I'm not so keen on like Several Girls Galore or like Sue Is Fine. Um, but yeah, all I need in that is just, I mean, that's incredible. All right, next is Nowhere, and I'm putting it S tier. And the reason why is, even though it's not the most shoegazy album in terms of effects, in terms of like invention, innovation is nowhere near as innovative as like Loveless or Everything's Alright Forever. But I think in terms of the songwriting and the way they just sort of balance pop with rock and shoegaze, Ride, no one does it better than Ride, really. That whole sort of blend, the mixture, really, of the balancing act is what Ride really excel in, and the live performance as well. Wow, you need to see Ride live. Keep on saying this, to people. Best live act in the world, really. Um, yeah, Nowhere. I mean, Seagull, Dreams Burn Down. Wow, Dreams Burn Down, Dreams Burn Down. Perfecto, perfecto. Pale Saints, The Comforts of Madness. I'm putting it C because it's not really, actually D. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not. D's still okay. I just think it's not really a shoegazy album like that. I mean, Sight of You is incredible, and Sea of Sound is, but overall, it's not really. It's quite insubstantial, really. See what I did there? Insubstantial is one of the songs on there. If you didn't know, yeah, I think that's fair enough because the next one's better, which is In Ribbons, and that for me is B tier. I just think Hunted and Hair Shoes especially is incredible. Ordeal, Thread of Light, Liquid, A Thousand Stars Burst Open, Feather Frame, Never Ending Dream, is it? Or Never Ending Night, can't remember. But yeah, much better In Ribbons. Ian Masters, one of the best bass players, one of the most unique voices and bass players in the genre. Choir boy vocals. On top of abrasive guitar, and abrasive but beautiful guitar. All right, next is Playmen, and I'm thinking S tier for this. Produced and mixed by Robin Guthrie, the great, the legend Robin Guthrie from the Cocktail Twins. This is a Peruvian band, and it's just really great. Twilight is one of my favorite outro songs of the genre, along with Primal by Slow Dive on Just for a Day and Blue Pedal. Actually, well, Blue Pedal isn't an outro song, is it? I think it's like second to last, but it really should have been the outro. Also, well, OX4 as well on Ride is beyond belief. All right, next one, Psychocandy. Ooh, Putting it C. I mean, it's not technically a shoegaze record. It's more post-punk, but it started it really. I mean, along with Cocktail Twins, Garlands, and Treasure, it really helped to establish the genre. But yeah, it's not really one I come back to that often. Really, I think the Mary Chain are a bit sort of one-trick pony. Really, kind of like when you heard like one or two of their songs, it's kind of like you've heard it all. Really. Yeah, a lot of people aren't going to like me for that, but yeah, there you go. That's how it is. Right, Seafield, Kike, and for me, this is S tier. I don't see how it wouldn't be. I mean, this is something different. This is different. This is a different approach to the genre. It's coming from a different angle. There's more of electronic side to it. And I think it's as good as Everything's Alright Forever and Loveless, really, in terms of innovation. I mean, Plain Song and like Industrious, Climatic Phase 3. These are tracks I can get lost in. They're really good for the gym as well. When I go to gym on the cardio, on the treadmill, like when I put Plain Song on, for example, it just speeds me up and just keeps me going. Yeah, well deserved S tier. Right, next, my favorite Medicine album for sure. The Buried Life. It's going in A tier, which is 2 tiers above their first album. They were originally on Creation Records, the legendary Creation Records, led by Alan McGee, Dick Green, and Joe Foster. But then I think after their first EP, they moved to like American Records. I don't know why Creation couldn't keep hold of them, really, because it would have been great to have an American band on the label like that, and would have been good for Seymour Stein's Sire, because they were with them, so he could have gave them some great promotion in the States. Right, next one, Going Blank Again, which isn't technically a shoegaze album, but putting it, I mean, for the strength of Leave Them All Behind, I'm gonna have to pop it up to B. I was gonna go C, but I was gonna go B. I mean, as a album, regardless of genre, it's S tier for me. I mean, it's one of the best albums of all time. Just Chrome Waves, Time Machine, OX4, Time of Her Time, Twisterella, Not Phased. Just brilliant. Cool Your Boots, obviously, that's a shoegaze classic. But I mean, yeah, we're talking strictly shoegaze here, and it doesn't really fit the bill as a strict shoegaze album. So that's why I have to put it B. But Leave Them All Behind is just my favorite song of all time. It's my anthem. It should be playing wherever I go, and it really gets me inside that. Especially when it gets to that real climatic, the climax of it, really, where the noise is just like a rocket taking off, literally leaving the earth behind, leaving them all behind. Right, next is Pure Mood, Ringo Deathstarr, 2015. I'll say B tier for this. I think Color Trip was a lot better, but Pure Mood still got some great stuff, like is it Summertime or something, isn't it? I think, yeah, Summertime's on it. Yeah, really great. Alex Gehring and Elliot Fraser again. Next, Rumskip from 2007. Love the production on that. Cocktail Twins guitar with like MBV bits. MBV glide guitar meets flanged and chorused Cocktail Twins. Digital processed effects, rack affected kind of GP16 kind of sounds, or quadriverb or MIDI verb sounds. It's fantastic. They're just a duo from Denmark. Hearts on Fire, Springtime. Wow, Springtime. Old time ago, springtime, springtime, long time ago. Oh. Keith Canisius, I hope you're watching. I hope you're watching, dude. I hope you're watching. Peace out, brother. I really hope you're watching, Keith, because I love this album, Rumskip, the self-titled, and I really hope that I saw you did some reissue recently with like unreleased songs, so I want to get my hands on that soon, and I really hope you sort of get the project together again someday. It'd be great to get a follow up on that. Cheers, Keith. So next is Aeryal, Battle of the Ceiling, and I really thought this was a quite rocky album. They really Swervedrivered it up. It really did. It was a big change, really, from. It was a big change from Winks and Kisses, really, which is a bit more of like an ambient album, but this was much more on the rocky side. There's some real heavy stuff, heavy riffage on it, which is very Mezcal Head Swervedriver. Next is Hush. I'm going with A again. I think, like I said, Slow Crush, I think, are one of the best breakthrough acts of the last 5 years. So Aurora and Hush, they're both equal in my opinion. I think really consistent. Like Tremble is fantastic. Tremble. Wow. Next, Just for a Day. Wow, this is very nearly S tier, but I'm gonna have to put it A. I think it is my favorite slow dive album, despite it being a bit derivative of the Cocktail Twins. But with Souvlaki, I guess they found their own sound. But I just prefer the kind of upbeatness of it. But you get Primal at the end of it, which it just blows everything else out that they did. I mean, Morning Rise and She Cause are two of my favorite EP tracks. But yeah, Primal is like just above those two tracks, really, in terms of preference. Yeah, and next is Souvlaki. Here it is. And what was it, A or S? I'm gonna put it in A, so I just think it's got a couple of weak tracks near the end. I'm not fond of Melon Yellow, and I'm not fond of Altogether. I mean, even like Here She Comes and Sing are a bit drab, which features the latter features Brian Eno on keyboards for Sing. But yeah, it's not quite the hype that people give it, really. Same as Loveless. I mean, it's lucky that Loveless is in S, really. I mean, it's only there for the innovations. I mean, in terms of like songwriting and stuff, it's really overrated in my opinion, and it would be much lower. But it's just certain aspects really that prop it up to the S tier. And yeah, same goes for Souvlaki, really. I mean, that could be lower, really, but I mean, Alison's beautiful. It's got Souvlaki Space Station, which like they're all doing these dub kind of techniques in the studio where they were like riding the faders. Apparently, like all of the band members were there with was it Chris Hufford who worked on it, and they're all in the studio like turning up the faders like that, just like doing a dub reggae kind of style mix, something that Lee Scratch Perry would do, just riding it, and the delays and the space echo were just repeating, and that beautiful. All right, so next, Siamese Dream, absolutely one of my favorite albums. Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream. Maybe not strictly a shoegaze album, so I'm putting it in the B tier, which makes sense really because I've got Going Blank Again there, and when we're talking about music in general, those two are much higher. But if we're talking strictly shoegaze, then it can't be any higher than a B really, because Siamese Dream is it's only really got aspects. I mean, there's a lot of 70s classic rock on there, like a lot of Queen, a lot of Rush that I'm hearing with that. And grunge as well. So, but yeah, I mean, Hummer is beautiful. Soma. So many amazing Neutron biphaser moments and MXR phaser moments. The Big Muff throughout, which I think Billy Corgan might have hired off Kevin Shields, reportedly. But yeah, beautiful. Siamese Dream. Everyone should know that. 1993, the year I was born. So obviously the best year ever. So next is Spooky, and I didn't say it was. I'm going to say C because it's consistent and it's beautiful, but it's just too much of the same. And like I said, it lets up really near the end with like Laura Take and Fantasy. Just even like For Love isn't that great really. But yeah, all respect to Mickey and Emma, and I just think they're so talented and amazing. When I saw them live in 2016, it was like, dream come true. Absolutely incredible. Yeah. Robin Guthrie at the helm as well. Wow. Imagine having him on board. Next one from the Czech Republic, The Ecstasy of St. Teresa. And I'm putting it D. I wasn't that impressed actually by it. I mean, it's got some good stuff, like Square Wave is on it, I think. And Thorn is quite good, but there's one song that's just like You Made Me Realize by MBV, just a direct rip-off. Right, the next one, 2015's. This is actually might be S tier actually, because I just think this is how a shoegaze album should be. And I'm putting it S tier. I think that's Swervedriver's best album. Last Rites, Autodidacts being the big pop hits, the radio hits. Red Queen's Arms Race, really heavy, kind of like sludgy doom riff to it, like Black Sabbath or like Mastodon. Really kind of reminiscent of like stoner rock. Yeah, but it's got everything. I Wonder is just the outro is it just ascends and ascends. It's just perfect, and that's why it deserves S tier for me. Next one, Rays, their 1991 debut. Putting it in B. I love Sunsets. I love Sci Flyer. Don't go too much on Son of Mustang Ford, actually. It's a bit of an immature song, really. Just like, I'm on the road, yeah. Like, just kind of, just sounds too like American kind of college radio sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's got Sunset's my favorite off that. Next one is another from the Czech Republic. It's Swirl, and I really like it. I like Ravens. I'm putting it at C though because it's nothing like amazing, but I really like Into the Gorgie, been going over into the Gorgie, or whatever that song is again. But yeah, Ravens is good. Lanes. They did some good EPs as well, like Sikasak EP and the self-titled EP. Yeah, worth checking out here from the Czech Republic. Next, the Day Sleepers, Drowned in the Sea of Sound. This is with Release the Kraken on. I'm putting it B. I think it's got great production. Came out around 2004. Yeah, they done a Creations, a really good album from 2018. The one with the planet on the front. I forgot to include it on here, but like I said, I couldn't include everybody. There just isn't enough time or like space to. The file format wouldn't take it. Next, Tokyo Shoegazer, 2014's Crystalline or something. I'm putting it D because it is just more noise really than songwriting. But I still enjoy it. I like the bombastic kind of blown out nature of it. Next, Weather Diaries. I'm putting that B by Ride. Weather Diaries Ride 2017, their comeback album. Love Cali, love Lannoy Point. Integration Tape is them at their shoegaze best. Weather Diaries, the actual title track's really good. All I Want, amazing shimmer reverb on that. Lost Colbert back to his best drumming. West Coast, Swedish band from 2019. I really like this one. I'm putting it B. I really like Adore and Daylight. Daylight's got the kind of vapor trail chords, ride vapor trail chords. Production's great. And then last, I'm putting this S tier. This is, I need to get up, scroll up. This is Whirlpool, and I really think it is S tier. I mean, if you put Nowhere there, then Whirlpool has to be there as well. Because Treasure's fantastic. I mean, the use of the glide guitar before Loveless came out, because this came out like May 91. So a few months before Loveless even came out. Yeah, I just feel they should have been on 4AD or Creation, because they probably would have been a bit more promoted as a band instead of being on Dedicated. But yeah, I mean, April is fantastic. Really, if you want full blown out shoegaze, that's the one. I don't know how they got that effect. I mean, I know like Andrew Sheriff and Rowe and Stephen Patman. I know they used Elise's quadriverbs, but yeah, really not sure how they got that effect. It must have been like super compression and like EQ'd the hell out of. But yeah, Robin Guthrie also produced some of the stuff. So yeah, I mean, Alan Moulder. It's mostly Alan Moulder and Robin Guthrie. That, I mean, they were the two main engineers, mixers, producers. Yeah, they were the guys, man. They were the guys who made shoegaze happen. As well as Alan McGee and Ivor Watts Russell. So there you go, guys. Yeah. So yeah, just clocked in under an hour. So yeah, hope you like my list. Obviously, there's going to be some disagreements. I mean, but yeah, fire away, or leave a comment, or even better, it'd be great to see your own versions of this, because that's what it's all about, really. Just kind of expanding the community and seeing what people think, and basically that's what being a music fan should be about, really. Just kind of respecting each other's opinion and throwing your own hat in the ring, but not in aggressive odd job kind of way where you just sling your hat and chop someone's neck off. I mean, just throw your hat into the ring, just out of in a respectful manner, and yeah, peace and love to everybody. So there we go. Shoegazer 93. Take care, guys. Cheers. Bye.